Okay, so in the first video of this tutorial series, we are going to check out how we can create a new project, and also we are going to see how we can create a new session. Especially this tutorial is purely for Paint workflow inside Silhouette. So let's see how we can create a Paint session inside the software and then proceed with our work. Okay, so I'm inside Silhouette version 2022.0.2. As soon as I open the software, I can see this interface here. Opening up Silhouette software may vary from company to company or pipeline to pipeline, but whenever you launch the software, you are going to see this splash screen. So inside this, you can see few buttons over here: new project, open project, existing project, and exit. So if you want to create a new project, you can click on this button and start a fresh workflow. But if you have an existing project, you can browse through this button, that is open project. But if you want to open up some of your recent files pretty quickly, you can access that through this pull down list, existing project. And also we have exit button. We can click this to exit the software. I'm going to create a new project. So let's click on this button. Here we have a pop-up where we can name our Silhouette project. And also we can choose the path where we can save this project. I'm going to name this as intro about Silhouette, and I already chose a path for my project. In most companies, you don't have to worry too much about following the right naming convention or choosing the right folder structure. It will be automatically taken care inside the pipeline. But please try to follow the right naming convention and the right folder structure whenever you're working, which is obviously defined in your working pipeline. This is very important, so please be aware of that. Once you're happy with the name as well as the path, you can simply click on create project. You cannot see any major difference in the interface right after that. Obviously you can see the path where you just saved your Silhouette project here, and also we have the source window here. We can import a footage to this, and later to that create a new session. Then that's it, we can start the work. Now let's try to import a footage into Silhouette. As I just mentioned before, we have source window here, which we can make use of for importing a single frame or a sequence of image as much as you need. So let's see how we can do that. There are many ways to do the same. I'm going to show you one by one. At first, just go to File, Import, Media. You can select the footage which you are just going to use in your work. Open. There you go. You just imported a footage inside the source window. Let's delete this. Come over here. There is a button import. Click on that, select the footage, click on open. There it is. Again, it is imported. Delete this. The most used and most convenient way of importing a sequence or importing the images into Silhouette is just by doing double click on source window, select the footage, click on open. That's very easy. Now let's see a few other options inside the source window. We have some buttons over here. You can use this for creating a new session. You can use this for creating a new sequence, which I'm not going to explain in this tutorial series. Also, we have search bar here. Let's suppose if we have hundreds of images here or hundreds of footages inside source bin, and you want to find one particular footage, you can type in the name of that footage and you can select that very easily using the search bar. Also, we have some customized view options here. This is list view. This is list view with thumbnail. You can see the thumbnail slightly very small over here, but I prefer this to keep in thumbnail view so that you can see the footage. Once you have imported the footage inside the source window and you are done with the importing, now the next step is to create a new session. So let's see how we can do that. Just like importing a footage, we can create a session in various ways too. Let's see that one by one. Before creating a session, always make sure that you have selected the footage which you are going to use in your work. I have selected the footage. You can go over here, session, new session, and the shortcut for that is Ctrl+N. Let's click on this option. Here we have a pop-up where we can fill up the name, we can choose the template workspace, format, and all these details. Cancel. Let's see some of the other ways which we can do the same. Make sure you select the footage. Come over here. There is a button to create a new session. Click that. You have the same pop-up. Is there any other ways? Yes. Make sure you select the footage. Just drag that into the trees window. There you go. You have the same session pop-up. Now let's see what are the options inside this pop-up. We can name this session inside here. Let's suppose if you are doing some roto task, you can name this as character roto. Let's suppose if I'm doing some paint task, maybe I can type this as paint. Renaming session is very important so that you can, find this specific session from the long list of sessions available after you start working. I have named this session as paint. Let's choose a template. By default, it should be none. Make sure you're selecting the paint template so that, when you create a session, automatically a roto and paint node will be available in your workspace. I have chosen the template as paint. Also, you have an option for composite and roto. So if you are doing a roto work, make sure you are selecting the roto template. So I'm selecting paint as my template. So choosing a workspace depends on your work style. I always keep this as streamlined or default, or I have my customized workspace roto paint. But for this tutorial purpose, I'm just going to keep this as default, and all other options are automatically filled up from the metadata of this source, which you just used for creating this session. So you can see the size of this plate is 3840 by 2160, and the pixel aspect ratio is 1. Duration is 30 frames at 23.976 FPS. And the footage starts at frame 1. So once you are convinced all the details are accurate and you have typed the name of the session, you can just simply click on OK. Importing a footage into the source bin and creating a new session is very easy. I hope you understood the technique. Okay, so a bonus tip is that we can import a new footage and do playback without creating a new session. Let's see how we can do that. Double click on the source bin. I'm going to import a new footage into the source window or source bin. Open. Here you can see the new footage has been imported. So how we can play back this image or this sequence without creating a new session? We can just double click on this footage and we can do playback and check how this footage looks like, or we can even analyze the footage. I hope this tip is super useful in your work.